He's going to get back on the diamond. I wish everybody that's supposed to be out on the diamond would be getting back to it, but I think Tom Holliday is going to. And I told Tom, the audience, I told him yesterday I got confused. I thought the Tulsa World was reporting the Dodgers had made you the manager of the Double A Drillers, and I'm like, well, I called you up and said all you need is a team now.
You know what? I thought he was calling me to manage the Dodgers too, and I was ready to jump on it.
I don't know if that version of the Drillers is going to play any ball this year, but tell folks what you are doing because we need baseball. We need baseball bad.
Well, what it is, Robert, it's kind of a sad story, but it's it's a good one too. So it's like Commissioner of Baseball held out for a long time, hoped that there would be baseball, and so then after the pandemic, I don't want to say takes its course because it's still not finished, and but they banged the minor leagues, and the big leaguers, they seem to have a lot of reservations about playing. And the Southern Division of the Texas Double A League, they all got together, I guess, on one of these phone calls and decided they wanted to have collegiate baseball out here, which it's kind of a no-brainer with all the good college baseball players in this area. And I got a phone call on a Friday afternoon, didn't really know what it was all about. I was quizzed about Cape Cod and how we run it up there, and after about an hour of sincere questions, I was convinced they were all in to do it. And then 15 minutes later on a text message, he called and says, well, we want you to run our club. So that meant I was not managing in the Double A for the Dodgers, that I was working for the Drillers on a collegiate team. So, kind of down my alley, I guess. And, I think we need it, Robert, but there's just a little apprehension the closer we get because I've never coached under restrictions like we're going to have to work. So I hope it turns out good for the kids, for a good experience, and I hope we're able to, keep them healthy, certainly, because one or two kids coming down with the virus, it'll destroy it because we'll have to put the whole team under quarantine, and we're going to play for like 5 weeks. And if you take 2 weeks away from that, it's you may as well just shut it down. So anyway, it's going to be a really good club. I mean, I did get about half of my Cape Cod team to come out here and tried to go local first. That was the first priority, which the NCAA has rules on only 4 guys from each school. And so I got the 4 OSU guys, certainly, and I got 3 guys from Oral Roberts. We have 1 from OU as we speak, and then it's all over the world, so they're going to be entertaining.
Well, and here's the big question, and are there plans to have social distanced spectating, or is this going to be in empty ballparks or maybe televised for folks to see or streamed, or have they told you what the consumer end of it's going to be?
Well, I know this: they're going to stream it, and I think all the measurements that they do now on kids while they're playing, the exit velocity, and they have machines that tell you what the spin rate was on the pitcher's pitches to the plate and all that. That's all going to be in operation, but that's going to be shooting back to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers will have full control over whether or not they share it with all of baseball. So I'm hoping to get that worked out because I think it's only fair that these kids get exposed to all 30 ball clubs. That's kind of what you sell in Cape Cod because all that information goes to everybody. The fan thing, these guys are like, I think they're talking every other seat. They're going to let people sit in, and their strongest song is they want to get people outside. They want to get people to a ball game, and they got like 4,000, maybe 5,000 season ticket holders, and They feel like they're all in on it, and the distancing thing, that's going to have to be a personal responsibility. And I just hope people keep it. I mean, you can take your wife to the game and sit a seat apart. You can take your kids and spread out a little bit, and you can do those things, Robert. And, of course, my concern is going to be the 35 kids and the coaching staff probably more than anything. I better worry about the coaching staff because I don't want any of the guys, because we're all of that age that could catch it a little bit easier and not deal with it quite as easy as some of these 19 and 20-year-olds are able to.
No, absolutely, and I've been careful. I mean, a lot of times I haven't been in my life, but with this, I've been careful, and I keep a face mask with me. There's one in my pocket right now that if John passed by and said, "Hey, we kind of think you ought to wear a mask," I've done shows with masks on. Can you tell us? I mean, like the OSU players, who do you have?
Well, certainly the first guy that I wanted was Bryce Osmond, freshman that has got electric arm, and he was going to pitch for me in Cape Cod. And it's like having seen him now for 2.5 years. It's like this guy's going to blossom, and he's going to be really, really special. And I think that we're lucky that we got him. And we took Max Hewitt, the kid that's turned into a catcher, and Josh caught him a bunch, and he's got a chance, Robert. He's so intelligent in baseball. I mean, he's a baseball rat. And if you're going to learn how to catch, that's the kind of personality you want. He's not tuned as far as mechanics. He needs a lot of work in that area. And I would think between Mickey and I that we can help him over 6 weeks. So that's going to be a fun project there. And Cade Cabanis decided not to sign for the proverbial $20,000 package. And he's going to come back to school. And I had Cade last summer in a Cape, and for about 3 weeks, Robert, with a wooden bat in his hand, he sounded and hit like a guy that was on the edge of turning into something special. Now, wooden bat tells you a lot about a hitter, and he'll have a chance to, again, face really good arms. And, even though you're going to return for your senior year, you're getting a little bit old. But if you can hit and you prove it, and the more times you prove it, it doesn't matter how much money you get. So Cade's coming back, and he's one of the best outfielders that I've seen in college baseball in 10 years. And I'm going to challenge him. I'm going to put him in center field. I want to play him in center field with two big, strong guys on both sides of him, and I'm going to give him something to work at. So he's not going to just go on the field and get bored. I'm going to take Huey Morrill. He's going to play shortstop. And, again, he's another guy that I think is on the edge of becoming a big leaguer. Huey is a total baseball rat. And as soon as I called him, he was like, "Coach, when and where?" And I think he was kind of excited that it was in Tulsa because he knows, how close it is to his school. So Huey's going to play short, and I might play him some at second. Might even, play him a little bit at third. But, one thing I'm not going to do in this heat is I'm not going to overplay him. And I've got two other guys that can play short coming, and one of them was his teammate last year in the Cape, Ben Ramirez from Southern California, who's a really good player. And Benny's a left-hand hitting infielder that I think is going to play in the big leagues. So those two in the middle made us really good. And the first four positions that I tried to fill were the catcher, short, second, and center field. And then I just went for some bats around the country, and we fell into a package of 4 guys from Southern Cal. All 4 kids were not drafted that are carrying a chip on their shoulder. And, I really, really like that. I like kids that have a chip on their shoulder. So, to get kids that have something to prove in the summer, that keeps them motivated. This league, the way they're going to treat these kids, they've never been treated like this, because they're going to get AA treatment. These guys want baseball in that ballpark in Tulsa.
Well, that's awesome, and can't wait. Do you have a starting date yet, or is that still kind of a moving target?
No, the schedule's done. It's been done for a week. We open up on the 30th at home. We have a 3-game set, and then we go on the road for 3, and then we come back home. I mean, it's a little bit just like AA baseball. We don't have like a 10-game homestand because we're only going to play 30 games, but we're going to play 30 in 33 days. And last time I checked, the temperature's going up, up and
Yeah.
up, and we're going to play at 7:00 at night. That'll be good. And it's going to be one of those things where if you're a baseball junkie and you want to get out, I mean, that ballpark down there. I mean, I thought it was
It's
like
awesome.
2-3 years old, and then
Yeah.
when I get down there yesterday, they're telling me it's like 10 or 12 or 13 years old, and it looks brand new on the inside, and the kids are going to be treated to an absolute big league atmosphere, and their ballpark is beautiful. The dugout, I hadn't been down on ground level. I mean, I did a couple games on television up in the booth, but the ground level view of looking out reminds me a little bit of not Three Rivers, but the new ballpark in Pittsburgh. And I mean, that's kind of stuff that turns kids on. I mean, they get tired of just playing on college campuses, and most of them they'll sneak a game in somewhere like into a big league ballpark, and that kind of like turns that little light on, makes them dream a little bit. And I think that's the solid root of amateur baseball is the dream. They got a dream.
Yeah, your OSU guys may be the only guys that will leave and go back to campus and move into a better ballpark than what they're playing in. And that O'Brate is, it's not as big as One Oak, but O'Brate's gonna. Oh, we drove by there the other day. Unbelievable. Hey,
Robert,
tell the driller.
I've been in a lot of ballparks in this country, big
Yeah,
league, minor league, college. I don't think there's a college ballpark in existence comparable to the new baseball park at Oklahoma State. And as far as minor league, I think it's nicer than One Oak, and I like One Oak. I was impressed, and
I
I've been
love
down
One
to
Oak.
I've been to Bricktown. Bricktown's nice, but not as nice as the Oklahoma State baseball stadium. I mean, it right now might be, because it's brand new, might be the nicest stadium in the country.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that I know where the Big 12 tournament's going now, down to the new ballpark in Arlington. But if they ever decide again, and I think they might, that that's just too big a venue for a college tournament, when it comes back to Oklahoma, I would be just fine with it going to Tulsa, because I thought, Tom, the
Well,
year Tulsa hosted it, those folks with the drillers, and those are the folks you're hooked up with here. They were unbelievable. They really wanted that Big 12 tournament. They wanted to try and lock it in.
hey, I think you and I talked about this, might have been 10, 12, 15 years ago, but I still think the Big 12 tournament is missing a boat by not playing like one division of the playoffs in the tournament over in Oklahoma City, and one division over in Tulsa, and then whoever wins each, they play off at, you pick your site. But the people in Tulsa and Oklahoma City, they love college baseball, and sometimes they don't get enough of it. And to have 2 ballparks within an hour of each other like that, and then if somebody in the Texas area can do the same thing, then let them do it. The last time we moved it to a pro baseball park, a big league park, it was a disaster. And if you remember us playing in the
Yeah,
stadium in Arlington, they had like 13 or 14,000 one day. You couldn't even hear them; they were so spread out.
I know.
They didn't block off sections, so they didn't want them too close, because they didn't want them in their box seats, because it still was a major league season going on. So I mean, they had so many restrictions. It was not a good experience. So I don't like the idea they're taking it back to a major league ballpark. I think it'll prove me right. I hope they prove me wrong. I hope there's 50,000, but I doubt that.
Well, and your idea, you could even go with the current College World Series format, like you said, play the 2 divisions,
Exactly.
and then play a best of
Exactly.
3 with 2 at one place and 1 at the other, so both towns get one of the games. That'd be awesome.
Well, if you play out a 4-game bracket, you're going to play 3 games, and then really in regional play, a fourth game is enough. You know, you don't overextend, you don't double anybody up. You got to use all four starters and make your fourth starter pitch the biggest game, which could get you ready for regionals and super regionals. And geez, I mean, why not try it? You know, instead of putting 8 teams in one place and then, you know, it's hard to sit down there for 3 games. Last year, you know, I sat down there and did it twice, and I was smoked. I mean, by the time that night game rolled around, I was having a hard time. I was like sweating down the middle of my back, and you know, it's like this isn't fun. I mean, it's supposed to be fun. It's not. You know, think about the fans a little bit. You know.
Mm. Well, hey, last thing. I know who can take the coaches out for dinner on the road with this. You just let
Really?
Tettleton
Tell me.
buy the meals because Little Big League has been replaying enough on MLB Network that he should be getting a lot of residual checks.
Yeah, I saw his movie the other day. You know, and I called him, and he was out walking with his wife, and I was like, yeah, not going to bug him. You know, and it was kind of funny because you know I was wanting to stop it and hold it because we're going to get together today for about an hour and a half and do some planning. And yeah, that's kind of nice. I hope he gets a check every time they show it. I know when Augie.
Oh, I think he does.
Yeah, I think Augie made 2 cameos in those movies, and one night after a game, while we were having a couple of iced teas, he was like, "Yeah, I get a check every month, every time they run that movie of me in a Yankee uniform." You know, and I was like, "Really? You're going to tell me how much?" And he goes, "Nope." So maybe that's a coach's dream, you know, just play a coach standing in a dugout acting like you're, you know, chewing somebody out or something. But, you know, of course, the way Augie handles himself, he was meant to be a movie star, but, you know, he chose to be a coach.
Well, he made a good friend. When you got a friend like Kevin Costner, you got a ticket to Hollywood. Now, I don't know who Tettleton, where they came up with him, but the classic line is he catches that pop up to end the inning or end the game, and he looks over at the little kid manager and hands him the ball and says, "Welcome to the big leagues, kid." I mean,
Yeah.
hey, you can
Yeah.
see Tettleton doing that. That was pretty
Kind of a classic, huh? Hey, maybe we need to open up and put that up on the big screen. I'm going to take your lead on that, Robert. I'm going to try to expose his television career.
I'm sure the Drillers have got it. They could put that up on their multimedia board, on their video board. Yeah, that'd be cool. So, yeah, tell him he needs to buy dinner with that residual check. So,
I
hey
will,
Tom,
because hey, we're not going to get rich on this deal, so you know, it might be a couple of chicken fingers or a piece of watermelon. So I don't know, you know,
well,
some of that summer food.
The cool thing is it's a Texas league, so you guys will play in Frisco then, right?
Yeah, we go to Frisco. We actually
that's
drew
an awesome ballpark.
Yeah, we drew a team from the other division. I guess everybody's playing one team from the other division. So we drew Victoria, and everybody's like, "Where is Victoria?" And that's going to be I think it's about a 7.5 hour bus ride.
Yeah, that's a hike. You'll feel like the minor leagues with that one.
Well, yeah, and you know, if the kids get one trip that they'll never forget, and if that's it for this summer, then good. It'll be another added to their experience list.
Yeah. Hey, I know you're going to have fun. I look forward to seeing the schedule, and I definitely will make it over. I got to check with the Drillers and see if they're giving media passes, but you know, I'll buy tickets because I want to go just sit in the stands with my grandson. I'll get Zach and Cash to meet me over from Miami. We'll watch some baseball.
Well, I would do it. I mean, I would come down there, and the schedule's online. I would imagine they're going to turn our roster loose, I think, tomorrow, and probably with the roster they might, you know, throw the schedule out there. But those guys they've been fun to work with, and I'd like to see them get, you know, some crowds to maybe make some of the money back that they're putting out for this.
Yeah,
that's a special effort.
No, and those people are that way. They really are. I've always felt that way. The Drillers are man, that you can tell they love baseball. The folks that work over there, from the general manager on down. Hey, have fun, and we'll look forward to catching up on how that goes.
Okay, buddy. Stay in touch.
All right, Tom Holliday, former Oklahoma State Cowboy head baseball coach, and has coached at a number of places, and